I'm going to be using this wood kit that I picked up from Anita at 4N Designs. And going to be using this stencil from Essential Stencil. This comes in a pack of 3, and I'm going to be using the smaller one called Fleur de Lace. I had a little mishap and painted this birdcage a different color to begin with, and my paint bled because I had too much loaded on my brush. So I ended up covering what I already did with burnt umber. And once I got that dried, I went in with sandstone over my stencil. This did require a couple of coats. Excuse me. I just love this stencil. It's so pretty. The pack of 3 comes with a larger one, the small size that's a 6x6, and then it also has another stencil that has some outlines of lace. This is a tedious process because you want to make sure that your brush is really dry, loaded with very little paint, so you don't have that bleed like I did the first time. So just dab the brush in and then offload it and then go in over the surface. And I'm going to give this a little bit of a dry and go in with a second layer of paint. Look at how pretty that is. Now I'm just going to line up my stencil. And do the same process. These do line up really well because the pattern is repeating. Doing the same on the bottom. Now I'm going to give it a quick dry, and the cage part of this I'm going to be painting rusty. So I have some different colored paints, suede, which is kind of a rusty orange, some black, and that same burnt umber paint. And I'm just taking a sponge and going in and painting it orange or suede. And then I'm going to go back in with the black and brown colors, just blending them all together to achieve the rusty look. Gotta trust the process on this one. There's no right or wrong way to do this, just kind of blend your colors together to make it as rusty as you like. You can also sprinkle with a little bit of cinnamon when you're finished painting if you choose to. Cinnamon kind of looks like rust, but I didn't do it on this project. And I find a sponge is much easier to use on some of these wood kits that have got the fine details. I'm just going back in with a little bit more of that orange. You could sit here and mess around with it all day to achieve the exact look you're going for. So it is a tedious process. Okay, once I got that all done, I dried it, where I thought I was done. Adding a little bit more orange. I will put a link to the stencil in the comments, and wanted you to know that these stencils just launched today in the Mother's Day bundle. And if you use my code GingerLee at checkout, GINGERLEE at checkout, you will receive an additional 10% off the purchase. So I went ahead and added some stick fast glue and glued my cage down. Now I'm going to take this little bird and paint it black using my sponge. Once I got that all finished and dried, excuse me, I'm going to adhere it to the cage. Using that same glue, the stick fast glue. Got to be careful with this stuff because it is sticky. Kind of like a super glue. But it works great for wood kits. And now I'm going to take a tag. It was a little bit longer than I wanted, so I just cut it in half. And with that same paint, black paint on my sponge, I'm going to go around the tag. And then I'm going to take my Posca pen and write the word tweet. I'm going to dry that, go in with a few little details. And then I decided it needed something else, so I have these little tiny stamps from IOD that I'm going to stamp on the bottom of the tag. Just looking for that perfect one. I sure made a mess out of my surface, work surface. There's the stamp, and I haven't used this one before, so it is advised to sand it a little bit better. A little bit, so that you get a better stamp. So I went ahead and stamped that onto my tag. Cleaning up my stamp a little bit. And now I'm going to glue this tag on and use a little bit of twine at the top. Sorry, I'm off camera here, just tying a little bow with my twine. Hot gluing that tag onto the bird cage, and then I'm going to add my twine as well. And it's all finished. This would be great to adhere to a bigger surface and use it as home decor.